Now, more than ever, the EU and the US should understand that nobody knows the Serbs better than the Albanians, the Bosnians, and the Croats. In Albanian, we even have a word for them that still fits now, hundreds of years after our ancestors first started calling them that. Pa bez. It means without honor. And before I move on, it goes without saying that I'm not talking about all Serbs when I talk about the genocidal state. I'm talking about the people who support it. But let's get back to what Kosovo supports and what I support, which is the Western world. What's the point of confusing us like this and telling us that refugees should rebuild their country so they can return to it if you're going to allow a new genocide to happen when we do? You currently have the best example of a democratic country where most refugees did return to rebuild, and then you choose to appease a Russian puppet state. Is the goal to ensure that no refugees ever try returning to where they came from? But that's not my only question. What message does it send out to the world if the West bows down to terrorists and allows them to get their way again just because they're allies of Russia? What's the point of joining the EU then, for any countries, or NATO? What's the point of supporting Ukraine if the Balkans are next? I can say what message it sent to me as a refugee who grew up in Denmark, which is also a small member country, that NATO is scared of Russia. And I'm usually not wrong, but I have never hoped to be as wrong as I hope I am right now. I am pro-Western, as is my country. I will forever be grateful for all the heroes who saved my people and my family back in 1999. But I did not think that those heroes would change their minds and suddenly be too scared to stand against terrorists. I'm not even 30 years old yet. How is it fair that my people have to flee and rebuild our country again? It scares me to think of what would have been the result of Serbia's planned terrorist attack this Sunday if Kosovo had listened to our advisors Lajčák, Borrell, Escobar, and many others and withdrawn our police force from the north after we had been warning them about the smuggling of military weapons for months. It also scares me to think of what kind of terror or new genocide they will be able to plan if we implement this so-called association of Serb municipalities, which would harm us so much that it even goes against our own constitution. You know, the one that was written by the people who helped us in 1999 when Serbs were slaughtering us, resulting in a genocide of thousands of people, including 1,133 children, a genocide that Serbia tried to cover up by dumping our bodies in mass graves in Serbia, as evidenced by their own human rights organization. That's why we call them pabes, without honor. We know what Serbia is willing to do for more land. Just look at Bosnia. And I and the people of Kosovo are not asking for much. We're just asking the world to allow us to rebuild our home and build the same future for our children that the Western world has been building for theirs. I want my future children to be able to have as good of a life as I had in Denmark, but in Kosovo with me where we belong.